Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another. Welcome to another night with me. I don't have like the creative song musical talent, but I will happily sing a song or make up a song with anything that I'm doing. You ever done stuff like that? Like make up songs, you just like, I'm cleaning the dishes. I'm cleaning the dishes. Not that I like it. I'm cleaning the dishes. Just silly, just things. I say that because my family have absolutely reminded me that I make songs about everything. Why does I got this little piece sticking up? Because my hair is just like stick up, what, stick up. So you see how that keeps happening? Uh, but yeah, they just want to stick up tonight. So welcome to another Drama is Life. I am your host, Theresa White, registered drama therapist, which is so important that you know that I am a Black registered drama therapist here in the state of Indiana. I am the only African American drama therapist, hence the name, the Black Drama Therapist. So you are here with me tonight as we're going to talk about some mental and social topics on Drama is Life. But tonight we're going to talk about what's the deal with creative arts therapies. You ever heard about that called Cats Week? And no, not the cats you typically see on Broadway, but Cats Week. It's called Creative Arts Therapies Week. And so as you come in, before I get into anything else, please like, subscribe, share. As you come in so we can get more people that can learn about the expressive arts or creative arts therapists. So I want to tell you a little bit about it. And I'm going to connect it as we've been talking about Women's History Month. I want to first tell you that I have a problem. You ever wanted to try to do something and you went to do it and you was having a hard time with the search, like what's happening here, right? And so with wonderful Women's History Month, I was like, oh, it's Creative Arts Therapies Week. Now, let me first clarify. Creative Arts Therapies Week is the third week of March every year. I'm talking to y'all about it today because it actually ended yesterday. It started Monday of last week and ended yesterday. The concern with that is I'm thinking this is the third week because the first week wasn't really a full first week. Anyway, it's important for you to know what creative arts therapies are anyway. So I want to talk to you about a few of them, particularly about drama therapy. Why? Because I'm a drama therapist, of course, right? So welcome. Come on in, have a seat, take some notes. If you're ever like, what is a drama therapist? I'm so glad you asked. Let me tell you. We'll get there in a minute before I get to drama. Because if I get to drama therapist, as you can see, I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I got a lot of energy. I can talk really fast. So let me slow things down. With creative arts therapies, this is a week to be able to celebrate creative arts therapies. The way that I want to talk about it tonight is to be able to celebrate Black creative arts therapists. The problem that I was having was I don't know a lot of them. Now, there are plenty that are around the nation and around the world, but I don't see a lot of them in what's the word I want in research like I want to see them. So when I went to go look like, oh, who was the first Black woman drama therapist? Could not find that information. If you have that, I would love to know. I went to our National Association of Drama Therapists. I definitely want to know that. If you know it, please let me know. So, and let me know when you come in, say hello, how you doing, all those good things. So I say that because that's a problem. Because the whole issue is that representation is important in every field. And because creative arts therapies are really beneficial to help people to be expressive. So we say be creative. It's not just creating things as in, well, actually, it can be creating all kinds of things. People who are great creators with their hands, where they make pottery, They do art, ceramics, those types of things. There is a lot of healing and creating with your hands. And it hits issues that may not be able to be tapped into when we just talk therapy alone, right? When we do what we call traditional therapy. So we celebrate. I'm here to celebrate. If you know a woman that is a creative arts therapist, please put their name in the chat. I'm going to actually put the person that I'm highlighting today, and I wish I probably should have asked her ahead of time to be on here, but she's super busy. So I'm going to put her name in here because I want y'all to know who my trainer was. Um, Her name is Azizi Marshall, and she has a practice called Center for Creative Arts Therapy. See, I'm mixing the therapies in Downers Grove, Illinois. And I'm telling you because I searched forever trying to find what they call a BCT, which is a board certified therapist that can teach people how to be or what they need to know in classes for drama therapy. So yes, you all, this is not something I just called myself. I actually had to go back to school for this to get another degree or master's equivalent, we call it. So yes, I want to celebrate that. Yay. Because in Indiana, I am the only one as of right now, unless somebody can tell me somebody else. I am the first in Indiana, but I am absolutely celebrating the history that this woman is making, not only in the central area, what we call the Midwest, but all over the world. So we know right now that she is making a program for mental health at work. She does all types of trainings to teach about the creative arts therapies, which was my first training with her. I drove all the way to Chicago because I was like, let me see what this is really about. I'm not going to really invest in this. And when I went, it was only a 2 or 3 hour training. It hadn't even been that long, but I absolutely loved it. It was like, this is what I've been waiting on my whole career. And I was already a licensed therapist, licensed mental health counselor, we call it in Indiana. So it was really nice to be able to walk into a room and feel like somebody gets me. And that's the benefit of creative arts therapies. It's the nice term that covers all the art therapies: art, dance, movement therapy, drama therapy, music therapy, poetry therapy, uh, excuse me, what we may call bibliotherapy. I do some of that as well. Psychodrama, which is one of my, I really enjoy the psychodrama part of drama therapy because it absolutely is phenomenal. Most people think that I'm saying trauma therapy or that I'm just mispronouncing trauma therapy. I am not. Which actually I do trauma therapy, and I am a trauma therapist, informed trauma therapist actually, which is what a lot of these creative arts therapies tap into. We are very skilled in making sure that we can release trauma in a creative, healthy, and sometimes fun way, because we know the trauma is not fun. Dealing with hard things is not fun. Talking about your emotions are not always fun, or sometimes it's not fun at all. I won't say always, but most of the time it's not fun. So when we talk about creative arts therapies, I want to tell you before I go again into mine. I told you about Azizi Marshall, who's based in Downers Grove. She is the founder and the CEO of Center for Creative Arts Therapy. She absolutely is one of the inspirational women that has helped me to get on my track of, first of all, not only drama therapy, but also with using drama therapy to help with social justice issues, using drama therapy to help with traumatic trauma that's trapped into the body, anxiety, depression, and grief that's trapped in the body. She was absolutely one of the people that I sent my grief journal to get her feedback, which we have very similar thoughts about it ourselves. She's just been phenomenal. Azizi knows how much I love her. So I am just so grateful to be one of her former students, and to be able to soon follow that path and maybe be a certified trainer to train other drama therapists as well. But I train people now, and students who are coming up as students in training or what they may call interns. I train those students here in the city that I'm in with other schools, or if it's an online school, I'll train those therapists as well. So I'm really happy to be able to celebrate her as a creative arts therapist and her doing phenomenal work because she's a drama therapist and what we call a registered expressive arts therapist. So, which is like what we say is REAT, REAT, because you don't want to have E, right? Expressive arts therapist, that's kind of weird. But so she does a lot. And so I just really commend her because she is absolutely phenomenal with all the things that she does. So giving kudos to our another person of color that's an art therapist. I do want to tell you about the first Black African American art therapist. And her name is Georgette Seabrook Powell, and this information is coming from Art Therapy Association. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Her name, as I said, is Georgette. She's a registered or was a registered arts therapist, which the letters behind art therapist that's registered is ATR and not RAT because registered art, you don't want to be a rat, right? So it's ATR. And so art therapist registered is what that means. So she was a therapist, a painter, what they call a muralist, which makes murals, illustrator, educator. And it says that she was a post-Harlem Renaissance artist in the 1930s. So way back in the 30s, we've been doing great things with art therapy, okay? And so all these, the art therapy, or art therapies has branched out to so many different therapies that associates the arts with helping people to address their mental or behavioral health concerns to get to those goals way faster. And so you may have heard what they call somatic therapy. You may have heard EMDR, which helps you tap into the body and use your eye movement to be able to heal from trauma, again, in a safe manner while somebody's there with you. Art therapy uses all the arts, whether again, if it may be mural, illustrative art, the art painting. And as I talked about ceramics and making, clays and things like that. And so can you imagine how beneficial and powerful that would be during a Harlem Renaissance time? So she painted as an artist for the Harlem Hospital Art Project, as I talked about, of the Federal Arts Program or Works Projects Administration, which is called WPA in short. She created public art murals to depict social issues. I say that because we have a couple around here in my city that, you can see different murals or different art displays. But to have actual murals to depict these social issues, there's a couple of them that are on my website. Not the ones that she's made, but I have a couple that's on my website that are art murals for social issues. In the building of the African American Culture Center here at Indiana State, not here, but at Terre Haute in Indiana State University, there is an image that is a painting. It looks like it's a mural of a young boy who's sitting on a step or a stoop in front of a door with a big bullseye on him. Very powerful. Again, art can speak things that cannot be spoken in words. It can display things that may not always come across as words, So it's really important that people recognize what the benefit of art can be, right? The benefit of arts therapies. I keep wanting to interchange therapies and therapists, but I get what I'm saying. So I want to talk to you just really quickly about drama therapy, but I want to finish off on these others. I definitely want to give salutations. Definitely wanted to salute Georgette, and definitely wanted to salute Azizi. Of course, Azizi is still alive. Georgette is, excuse me. I don't see where it talks about her death. I don't see that she's deceased. But I do want to tell you that in 1966, she created Art in the Park, which is a yearly event at the Malcolm X Park. So she's done a lot. So Georgette Powell, as we honor women's history in this kind of blending our creative arts, we absolutely salute the work you have done to be able to help people heal through the arts, especially African Americans heal through the arts. Another art therapist, as we talk about, with dance and movement and dance and movement and dance and movement and dance and movement. What? Sorry. Yes. So how many of y'all have watched those TikTok challenges of dancing? Right. And you can, and it's like it's therapeutic, even though you're not doing it, you can watch it, but then when you start to do it, it's like it releases stress. It releases, all types of hormones, pheromones, all those moans, right? It can release tension that's in the body, because your body absolutely holds tension, if you did not know that. Which is why people can have tight shoulders, right? When you go, people touch shoulders like, ooh, you're tight, because your muscles are sitting there holding out this tension. You're like, what? I'm not tight. What are you talking about? What? Put your shoulders down, Theresa. Oh, I didn't know they were up. Movement, right? So sometimes dance movement therapy and drama therapy can be cousins a little bit, and we can kind of have a nice blend and join together. So movement sometimes can, because it can trap in the body, what movement therapists can do. I've been to some trainings with dance movement therapists, and it's absolutely phenomenal. They call what is the term micro movements, because we don't have you go, oh, and boom, right? Because that can be really stressful for somebody's body, depending on what they may have trapped in there, or what's being held. But a micro movement would be, what would it be like if you just slightly moved this one down? And then you get a chance to kind of think about that, process that, and work through that in a safe manner or in a safe space with your therapist. And they are phenomenal in being able to release what's trapped in the body. And as we talked about last month, sometimes it's grief, sometimes it's unforgiveness, sometimes it's stress that you can't put into words, but your body absolutely has the memory. So with dance movement therapists, it's my cousin. They're my cousins. Music therapy. Sometimes we just have a song, and I'm doing the dishes and I don't want to. And I'm doing the dishes, but I don't want to. I'm doing the dishes. I'm doing the dishes. I'm doing the dishes, and I don't want to. So how many of us, we know music is the expression of like, oh, that song is my song. Well, why, Theresa? Why is that song your song? Because it can say what I can't say, or put into words what I've been feeling, or it can hit on the issue that I've been trying to say, because music is a universal language. So imagine putting that in therapy. And music therapists are not just ones that have you sing songs or write songs. They can be, and I'm not the beatboxer or the beat, but they do all of that. There's actually one in Chicago. One of my colleagues is a hip hop therapist. He's phenomenal as well. But using music to help communities, depending on whatever your community or the type of population that person works with, helping them heal through different things. Music. And can you imagine coming into a session and music is the focus? I can talk about hard things with music. I can deal with hard things through a song. Absolutely. Because therapy doesn't have to be as difficult when you're just sitting there talking. Therapy is meant to be creative, expressive, and also to release. So that's another one of the creative arts therapies that we honor this week. Poetry therapy is writing poetry. Again, so basically almost like a cousin of music therapy, putting into words. And sometimes those words turn into lyrics, turn into songs, put a song with a melody, and go from there. But it actually is a whole process to doing that, but it actually has to start with the writing part, which sometimes can be poetry. And sometimes poetry is not, as you heard some poems, and maybe like, oh, that really resonated with me. That really touched me. That poem really spoke to what I really, would have wanted to say in my own words, but I just didn't have the words to do it. There are some people who are absolutely gifted with words. And we, maybe call them lyricists in the music department or the music career field. But poetry therapy also can get some of those words that are trapped. And it don't have to be pretty and what we call poetic, because therapy is not necessarily trying to get you to sound good, but it's getting you to release what's there. And so again, it's called bibliotherapy, which means it's about writing. And so it's about writing stories. Sometimes you have narrative therapy, which is part of the creative arts therapies as well. And then talking about mind, the psychodrama and drama therapy. So they're not the same, but they absolutely can work together. So drama therapy is using theater activities, processes, and what that means is ideas and the way that theater works on a stage, and actually applying it to the life of a person you're working with or a group you're working with in therapy. So for example, if we're working on voice, people like the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Saying those words is actually an activity that I've learned in theater. In drama therapy, I can use somebody using their voice, helping them get their voice back. There's so much that drama therapy can do, but I'll sum it up in a nutshell to say that drama therapy helps connect the body and the brain again. Because sometimes you're like, I feel this, but I don't even know what's going on with me. I don't know why I'm so tense. I don't know why I'm so tight. I don't know why my shoulders are up here. I don't know why I'm snapping at you and looking at you crazy. I said something crazy. You said something crazy to me. You're like, wait, hold on. Because again, slow down, bring it down. And sometimes we move. I told somebody that I worked with today in one of my drama therapy sessions, sometimes we move so fast. We move so fast that our bodies don't take the time, or we don't take the time to register what happens in our bodies. I'm going to give you one example. Especially as a person that has been racially discriminated against or had a lot of trauma, people can walk into a room and in a split second, they're scanning to see if it's safe. Who's there? What's there? Where's the exit? Like all of those things register in a millisecond, right? So because it registered that fast, if I actually sat you down and said, okay, now, Theresa, tell me about what's on the wall to the left, or where's the exit? Like you would begin to pause and think about those things, even though you came in and registered it in a matter of seconds. Our bodies is taking in input constantly, information. And sometimes we need to sit down and be able to say, I didn't realize I felt that way. I didn't realize I thought like that. I didn't realize this was an issue for me. I didn't realize this was bothering me. And so that's what's really happening. And then a lot of times that's what we get to help people tap into in a safe manner. We're not trying to pull you back into your trauma and have you people feel like they don't have any control of themselves and they are triggered and going back, crying and they snotting after they leave session. That's not what drama therapy does. We actually can help you safely tap into things, and we can do it in what I call a safe time manner. I don't take you fully to a trauma. We can just say, let's work on today, and we'll build to where you're ready to do those types of things. But drama therapy helps you tap into the body, helps the bodies to speak, and for you to listen to the messages that your body may be saying to you, or not maybe, that is. If it's, my eyes are drooping, my body is saying I'm tired, or I'm sleepy, or my eyes are heavy, or this screen is hurting my eyes. There can be several messages that one movement or one thing that your body is doing that we are not always able to understand if we don't take the time to sit and tap into it and find someone who's trained to help us. I would not encourage anybody to try to do things on their own, because you could get into a space where it can be stressful. And so you definitely, the same way somebody would say, I wouldn't have you try to open up your own heart and do your own heart therapy, or do your own open heart surgery. Not at all. You would go to somebody who's trained with open heart surgery. So I wouldn't have you try to deal with your own trauma by yourself. We're there to walk with you. If you're dealing with depression, or we are here to help you with anxiety, with grief, whatever it may be. We can use drama therapy to address all of those things. And parts of drama therapy is using music, movement, right? We can use dance. I love dance. It was my first ministry that I've ever done. And then we can also use poetry. I use creative writing as well, because not everybody wants to do, the masks. Not everybody is ready for that, but they can also still do drama pieces, voice. There's so many different levels of what theater uses and drama uses to help people to deal with those issues, or to deal with whatever they came into services or the therapy for. So we're here for that. I definitely want people to call and ask questions. I do trainings on drama therapy. I just did one at ISU for the social work department a month ago in February. So just showing people, because again, this is the week that we celebrated. Actually, last week would have been, but we celebrate all the time to celebrate the expressive and creative arts. So we want to make sure that we are getting the word out there that to sit down and talk and just talk to you on the couch and do traditional therapy is not working for everybody. And a lot of people are done with the sit down and talk. People don't know how to. They don't have the words for it. I'm a therapist. It's like, it don't matter. You don't have to have the words for it. We ain't got to talk at all. Let's sit and do something. Right? Because when you leave this session, it's not going to really be about what we talked about. It's going to be more about what you did. So what did you do with the information? So we can do and put things in action. So I call creative arts the action-based therapies. Drama therapy is an action-based. Psychodrama, and I get this last bit, psychodrama is actually taking the drama of your own life and enrolling it, reenacting it in a safe manner, and being able to do it with the objects in the space, being able to do it with what they call a psychodramatist, the trainer or the director who's right there with you. And I love doing psychodrama. I've been trained in that as well. And so that's part of drama therapy that I use. And again, would love to be able to have you come and explore that. We did that with our open house, and we plan to do another one when we do another community event. Then we will also show what drama therapy and psychodrama does. It's one of those things that really has to be shown for you to really get it. And again, with the person that I was working with today, it was really like, wow, that just happened. And it wasn't something that was like, oh, we dived into a deep thing. No, we did what I would call a simple exercise that opened up things that had not been revealed previously, even to themselves. That was like, oh, that is okay, yeah. And they confirmed, that was true with their messages of their body, because they were the ones who spoke it out. And so it's really something that I absolutely am passionate about. I love it, love teaching it. I love training students in it. People could be able to see it. And the feedback that I've gotten from it has just been really overwhelmingly great. It really has been. And anyone that's ever worked with me or been at one of my trainings that's done drama therapy, you see what I'm talking about. Because again, we are visual learners at times. We can hear, but it downloads way better when we are in action, doing the mode, doing whatever it is that we need to do. If I want to lose weight, I can't think about it. I can't just talk about it. I got to go and do something, change how I'm eating, find out some information. Once I get that information, then I got to do something with it, move, do some action. And that's when the real change happens. And so to use that metaphor and that analogy is exactly how drama therapy works. Once we have the information that you are sleeping crazy, or you're not sleeping at all, you're eating and not, keeping the food, or your mood has been shifting over and over again, we can use that to help you in action form so that you can see that change happen a lot faster than us sitting here talking to you about what is happening with you. And let's talk about it. What's going on this week? And again, nothing's wrong with saying those things, but then what do we do about it? Because we're in the place where it's like, okay, I know, but I need to do. So that is your creative arts therapies summed up. And I absolutely hope that you will reach out, tell people about End Time Creative Counseling Services that's located here in Indiana, or Terre Haute, Indiana, where there is a woman drama therapist here, a Black drama therapist here in Indiana that absolutely wants to teach others and help others heal. And the same way we do so with Drama is Life, where we talk about what's the deal with all these different things. So tonight was what's the deal with creative arts therapies. And now I hope that you know. And then my last thing that I will tell you is that we have our grief journals that are on sale. It's called Grief by Grace, GRIP. My expressive arts grief journal is called Grip by Grace. Grip stands for Grief Recovery is Possible. Because a lot of times people feel like I'm grieving and I ain't gonna never get over this. Again, the grief release means recovery is possible, and those are on sale. The payment link, which is a QuickBooks payment link, or you can pay by PayPal, and those are also on our pages as well. So if you want that information, you can reach out to us again during regular business hours so we can get that to you. Also, I am hiring creative arts therapists. So if you know someone who's an art therapist, music therapist, dance therapist, if you know somebody that's a therapist in those creative spaces that's looking to come and do some work with some youth and also, I say youth as in I work with adolescents and adults. We are absolutely here for that. And I would love to be able to spread the good news and the wealth of the creative arts. So be creative, women, as it's Women's History Month. Create something great. Whatever you're doing this week, let it leave a legacy. Let it go to the next generation, as Georgette has done, as we have mentioned that Azizi has done and is doing. So we are so glad that you guys have joined us tonight. Hope that you learned something new about the creative arts therapies, and that drama therapy is not trauma therapy, that I am a registered drama therapist, which means I am certified, have the classes, the degrees, the education, experience, all of that to do drama therapy with people to help them to address all of their concerns. Feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. So thank you again for being with us tonight. And hopefully we will see you again on our next episode of Drama is Life. Bye-bye, you all. Have a good night.